I don't know what it is about this CETME C. Every time I try to film it, it looks all washed out. So this is actually the second time I'm filming this, and that's why the background's different. I'm hoping that with a different background, it won't be quite as washed out. So, alright, so what I wanted to do today was just talk about the scope mount because I realized that I never did a video on the scope mount. And there's a gentleman that just got one of these Southern Tactical CETME Cs. His name is the Cobra 49. The Cobra 49. There's no R in it, and it always confuses me. Anyways, he was kind enough to give me a couple shout outs in a couple of his videos, and he was telling his audience that I have several videos and then I talk about the scope mount stuff. And I kind of do in the one video, but then I had said that I wanted to make a separate video on the scope mount, and I never did. So I'm going to do that today, real quick. So I have about 500 rounds through this scope and the scope mount itself. This scope mount is made by a company called MFI, and they make different scope mounts for different things. So they have this specific scope mount, which is for CETME Cs. And this scope mount will not fit the Century, the new CA3 that they have, but I believe they have a different scope mount that will. I'm pretty sure that MFI has been in business a long time, and I believe they're like one of the only companies that make a scope mount that actually works. So there's some other scope mounts. UTG makes one, and there's a couple other ones that they just don't hold zero. This guy does, and it's a little pricey, but it actually works. Like I said, I have 500 rounds through this guy, and the scope and the scope mount both hold zero. And I've had zero issues with either of the two. Now, I talked to the guy that owns this company via email. He didn't send the scope mount out to me or anything, but I had some questions. So when I first mounted it, you can see there's a gap there. And I had thought that when you mounted this ring here was to keep it from, was to keep it so it didn't move. And I thought it was supposed to be tight up against, and I figured maybe you would take like a file or something and just file it down to get it to fit tight against your rear sight. But what he told me was that's actually not what that's for. All that's there for is in case the scope mount comes loose, it prevents it from not walking down the receiver. So, but I haven't had that issue. Obviously, you see there's still a gap there. So that hasn't happened. This scope mount is actually solid. So these are 100% made in the USA, and they also come with a lifetime warranty. So he was joking with me via email, and he said that it's his lifetime, not the lifetime of the owner or the scope mount. I believe he's a one-man shop, so I'm not quite sure if he's thinking that when he does pass that the business will go by the wayside or what exactly he meant by that. But I understand. I understand what he meant. So, in 50 years, you're not going to be able to send this back to MFI and get a replacement scope mount. Not that you'll need one, but when you get this, there'll be a little paper that says not to use thread locker on the screws. And that was another reason why I had emailed him, because I wanted to ask him about that, because I was afraid with the 308, the recoil would loosen the screws up. And he had told me that the thread on these screws are super thin, and if you put thread locker on them, it makes it that much easier to strip the threads out. Now, I will say that I actually did strip the threads out on this one a little bit, but he told me, I told him about it. He said that I could just send the whole thing back and he'll replace this dog leg here and give me a new screw. But I was able to get it tight, and it's not moving. So, and it hasn't moved in 500 rounds, so I didn't feel the need to send it back to him. But yeah, it's a pretty good mount, and you see there the CETME. I'm not sure what the bottom word says, but I do know that that's the Santa Barbara logo. So that's pretty cool. that's on there. And this is a very solid mount. Like I said, I didn't say this, but they are actually not in stock right now. There is a thing on his website that says they're hoping to be in stock by January 1st, or I'm sorry, January of 2025. If I was you and you were interested in getting this mount, I would email him and ask him when he thinks they're going to be in stock. And I would buy one as soon as they come in stock, because if you're looking at mounting an optic, this is the best way to do it. Anyways, it was just a real quick video. I just wanted to mention that the scope mount and where I got it from. Like I said, the company's called MFI, and they make very, very solid products. So check them out if you're interested in a scope mount. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.